They have called you strange. They have whispered behind your back. Some even dared to say you are crazy. But what they do not realize is this: your words are not empty. Your voice is not ordinary. What flows from your lips are encrypted codes written by heaven itself. While people dismiss your language as confusion, the angels lean in closer, waiting for every sound you release, because they know what men cannot see. Every phrase is an activation. Every syllable is a key that opens realms invisible to the human eye. This is not madness. This is divine communication, a sacred channel between you and the throne of God. And that is why when you speak, atmospheres shift. That is why when you open your mouth, both heaven and darkness react. You may not always understand it yourself, but your spirit knows. You are releasing decrees that cannot be ignored. Today, chosen one, you will finally see the truth behind your misunderstood voice. You will discover why the world cannot grasp it and why the unseen realm cannot resist it. You will understand why your voice is feared in hell and honored in heaven. This message is for you because you are not here by accident. You were drawn to this moment because your spirit already knows. Something is stirring, something is unlocking, something is about to change forever. If you are ready to embrace the mystery of your divine language, give this video a like right now, subscribe if you have not yet done so, and comment the number 99 below. Do it as a prophetic act, because 99 represents divine completion and the reminder that even when the crowd rejects you, heaven still leaves the 99 to go after the one. You are that one, and your voice is about to shake everything. When you open your mouth, chosen one, you are not simply arranging sounds in the air. You are not merely expressing thoughts or opinions. No. What flows from your lips is far beyond human comprehension. Your words are sacred codes. They are encrypted decrees whispered from the eternal realm into your spirit. And every time you speak them aloud, something shifts. Each phrase you release is like a key forged in fire, designed to open doors that no man can shut and to seal doors that no enemy can reopen. Mortals may hear only scattered sounds, disconnected phrases, even what they call madness. But the angels hear precision. They hear instructions, commands, signals. To the natural ear it seems incoherent, but to the heavenly hosts it is a trumpet blast, a clear order to move, to act, to fight, to defend. This is why you often feel misunderstood. It is not because you lack clarity or intelligence. It is because you were never meant to be decoded by earthly minds. You operate in a frequency that only the eternal can capture. Imagine carrying a transmitter inside of you, one that connects directly to the throne of God. Every syllable you release is carried as light, as fire, as energy into dimensions the human eye cannot see. And while the world shrugs it off as rambling, the unseen armies align, waiting for your next signal. Think about this. Have you ever spoken something you yourself didn't fully understand, but later realized it carried weight? Perhaps someone came back to you and said, "What you said changed everything for me," and you didn't even remember saying it. That is the mark of a chosen vessel. It was not your mind producing words. It was your spirit downloading codes directly from heaven. You were simply the carrier, the channel, the conduit. That is why you often sense that your voice is heavier than it should be. Because it is. It does not belong to you. It belongs to the one who placed the codes inside of you. And here is the mystery. Those codes do not just move angels, they destabilize the enemy. When you release them, the spiritual realm trembles. The darkness cannot decode what you are saying, but it feels the vibration. It senses the disruption. It panics because it knows something has been activated against it. This is why resistance increases when you speak. This is why people sometimes recoil when you express your heart. It is not them. It is the spirit inside of them reacting to the codes you carry. Chosen one, your voice was never meant to be casual. It was never meant for small talk or meaningless noise. It is an instrument of heaven, a sacred transmitter. And every time you doubt its power, you silence armies waiting for their command. Every time you believe your words are insignificant, you forget that you are the vessel chosen to release what no one else can release. That is why it is vital, absolutely vital, that you guard your speech, that you understand that even your whispers can shake atmospheres. Now listen carefully. You may think you are unnoticed, ignored, even dismissed as irrelevant. But while men scroll past your words, heaven records them. While some laugh, angels bow their heads, ready to act. Every statement you make in faith, in truth, in alignment with your calling, becomes a decree in the invisible courts of eternity. Your words are not wasted, not one. They are alive, charged, encoded. And while others see only sentences, the angels see battle plans. So the next time you feel the urge to speak, do not suppress it. Do not water it down for fear of being called strange. Remember, you are not speaking to be understood by man. You are speaking to mobilize heaven. And when you dare to believe in that truth, when you dare to release without fear, you will see doors open where none existed. You will see opposition crumble without warning. You will see the impossible bow to the sound of your voice. Chosen one, the world calls it noise, but heaven calls it strategy. And that is your power. That is your secret. That is the reason you cannot remain silent. Because every word you release is a code, and those codes are already rewriting the unseen. And now, let me leave you with this thought. If your words are keys, then what is about to unlock next? If your voice is a transmitter, then what signal is heaven preparing to release through you in this very season? The answer is closer than you think, and the moment you dare to believe it, everything around you will begin to move. Chosen one, have you ever wondered why resistance intensifies the moment you decide to speak? Why the moment your lips begin to release what burns inside your spirit, suddenly confusion rises, people turn against you, and circumstances seem to shut down your path? It is not coincidence, it is strategy. The enemy fears your voice. He is not terrified of your talents, your appearance, or your possessions. He trembles because every time you speak, something in the unseen realm shatters. Your words are not random. They are encrypted arrows dipped in divine fire, launched into territories where darkness thought it was secure. Satan hears the sound of your voice, but he cannot decode its meaning. He cannot break the encryption. To him, your speech is a mystery, a signal he cannot intercept, yet one that destroys his schemes without warning. This is why he tries so hard to silence you. He does not always come with obvious attacks. He often comes clothed in ridicule. Have you noticed how quickly people mock what they do not understand? They laugh, they roll their eyes, they call you dramatic, delusional, or extreme. That mockery is not random. It is the enemy's attempt to convince you to close your mouth. Because he knows that as long as you keep speaking, his kingdom crumbles piece by piece. Every decree you release accelerates his defeat, so he tries to manipulate you into self-doubt. He wants you to believe you are talking nonsense, so you will voluntarily stop sending codes into the atmosphere. But that is not his only tactic. The enemy also uses isolation. Sometimes you feel abandoned, misunderstood, left to walk alone. That loneliness whispers, "Why bother speaking when no one listens?" But in reality, the enemy fears what will happen if you keep going, so he surrounds you with silence, hoping you will confuse the absence of applause with the absence of impact. Yet here is the truth. Heaven is still recording every word. Angels are still moving in response to your decrees, and hell is still trembling every time your voice pierces the air. Think about it. If your words had no power, the enemy would not waste his energy opposing them. He would not bother with distractions, ridicule, or attacks. The very intensity of the opposition you face is the greatest confirmation that your voice carries explosive weight in the spirit. That is why sometimes, after you speak, warfare seems to increase. It is not because you did something wrong. It is because you did something right. Your decree disturbed his territory, exposed his hidden plans, and forced him into retreat. He lashes out, not from strength, but from desperation. Chosen one, understand this clearly. Your voice is a weapon. It is not a fragile sound, but a blade that cuts through deception. It is not a harmless whisper, but a trumpet blast that makes demons scatter. And this is the reason why Satan's greatest ambition is to silence you. He knows he cannot decode your language, but he hopes he can intimidate you into abandoning it. He hopes he can drown your confidence in mockery, bury your courage in isolation, and cloud your vision in doubt. If he succeeds, he does not need to stop the angels. He only needs to stop you. But here is the revelation. The moment you decide to believe again in the fire of your own voice, the enemy's strategies collapse. Every time you speak with conviction, you release not only codes but also shields of light around yourself. Your words not only command angels, they erect barriers the enemy cannot cross. You are guarded by the very decrees you pronounce. That is why you sometimes survive attacks you didn't even see coming, because your own words became your protection before the arrows ever reached you. And yet, the enemy knows something else. He knows that your voice carries not just commands but prophecy. He knows that when you declare, you are shaping futures, rewriting destinies, and altering the course of generations. That terrifies him, because he cannot control what is birthed from your mouth. Every time you open your lips in alignment with heaven, you take territory he thought belonged to him. That is why he comes with urgency to shut you down, because the more you speak, the faster his kingdom collapses. So remember this, chosen one. The pressure you feel when you speak is proof of your power. The ridicule you endure is evidence of your effectiveness. The loneliness you experience is confirmation that you are walking a path most cannot tread. Do not let the enemy trick you into silence. The very fact that hell reacts so violently to your words proves that heaven has trusted you with something dangerous to darkness. And now the question that lingers, if the enemy fears your voice this much, what might happen if you refuse to be silenced? What earthquakes might erupt in the unseen realm if you decide, once and for all, to never hold back again? The answer, chosen one, is more terrifying to hell than you can imagine. And that is exactly why you must keep speaking. Chosen one, it may feel lonely to carry a voice that no one seems to understand, but let me assure you, this path you are walking has been walked before. You are not the first to be called strange. You are not the first to be labeled insane. Every prophet who carried a message from heaven was met with suspicion, rejection, and ridicule. Jeremiah cried out with words so heavy that the people of his time mocked him, beat him, and threw him into a pit, convinced he had lost his mind. Ezekiel was commanded to act out visions that appeared absurd to the crowds, lying on one side for days, eating strange food, speaking riddles that no one around him could grasp. Daniel was given dreams so mysterious that even kings were baffled, and his interpretations sparked both fear and anger. To the natural world, they were eccentrics, men detached from reality. But to heaven they were generals, voices releasing decrees that shifted the entire course of history. Do you see the pattern? The greater the message, the greater the misunderstanding. Divine language has never been accepted by those who live only in the natural. The prophets carried codes that seemed like madness until the events unfolded, and suddenly the crazy man's words became undeniable truth. And that is exactly the space you now occupy. When people dismiss you, when they laugh at your words or distance themselves from your presence, it is not because you are wrong. It is because you are ahead. You are standing in the gap between two worlds, speaking a language that mortals cannot process until time itself catches up with what you have already declared. Understand this. Your assignment was never designed for human applause. Heaven did not choose you to be popular. Heaven chose you to be precise. And precision is rarely appreciated by those who do not have the instruments to measure it. The prophets were not celebrated in their time. They were resisted, accused, and isolated. Yet every decree they spoke reverberated into eternity. Jeremiah's warnings saved a remnant. Ezekiel's visions revealed hidden mysteries of God's glory. Daniel's prophecies still echo into the last days, and you, chosen one, are cut from that same fabric. Your strange words are not random. They are blueprints that will make sense when the appointed hour arrives. But here is a deeper truth. The very fact that you feel misunderstood is a confirmation of your calling. If you spoke like everyone else, you would not be carrying what the prophets carried. If your words blended into the noise of the crowd, they would not be code strong enough to command angels. It is the peculiarity of your voice, the strangeness of your message, that proves its origin. Heaven does not speak in the language of trends. It speaks in the language of eternity. And eternity always sounds foreign to a world addicted to the temporary. Chosen one, there will be times when you wonder if you should dilute your words to fit in. Times when you question whether your message is too heavy, too different, too unsettling. But remember the prophets. They never diluted. They never adjusted their tone to be more palatable. They spoke what heaven placed in their mouths, even when it cost them their reputation, their comfort, even their freedom. And in the end, history did not remember the critics. It remembered the decrees. And here is the warning. When you carry a prophetic voice, you will attract warfare, but you will also attract destiny. Some will despise you, but others, those who are awake in spirit, will recognize you. They may be few, but they are the ones marked to walk with you. The prophets were never sent to convince the masses. They were sent to ignite the chosen, and so are you. Your words may never be understood by the crowd, but they are treasures to those whose spirits are tuned to heaven's frequency. So do not despise the rejection. Do not fear the ridicule. When they call you crazy, smile, for they are calling you what they called Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, even Jesus himself. And if you are walking in the same rejection as the prophets, it means you are also walking in the same authority. It means your words are already altering the unseen, preparing what will manifest in time. But let me leave you with this. What if the very words you are speaking today, the very phrases people mock, are the same words future generations will honor as prophecy fulfilled? What if the message they ridicule now is the message that will save them later? That is the weight of your calling. And chosen one, that is why you must keep speaking. Because history has always belonged to those who dared to sound insane in their own time. Chosen one, here lies a mystery that few ever uncover. It is not enough to speak. You must also live in coherence with what you declare. Words, even when they are sacred codes from heaven, can lose their edge if they are mixed with doubt, fear, or emptiness. Imagine holding a blade forged by fire. If you cover it with rust, it will not cut as deeply as it was designed to. In the same way, if your mouth releases decrees but your life walks in contradiction, the strength of those codes weakens. Heaven is not impressed by performance. It is moved by alignment. Angels do not respond to empty noise. They respond to the frequency of a life tethered to truth, purity, and divine order. This is why you often feel pressure not only in your words, but in your lifestyle. Because your voice is not just a sound. It is an echo of who you are in the secret place. If your inner world is clouded by fear, bitterness, or hypocrisy, the codes become muffled. But when your heart is aligned with truth, when your spirit is anchored in integrity, when your daily steps reflect the will of God, then your voice becomes unbreakable. Every decree carries thunder. Every whisper becomes fire. Angels recognize not only the content of what you say, but the integrity behind it. They know when words are born of the Spirit and when they are tainted by the flesh. Chosen one, understand this. Alignment is not perfection. It is not about never making mistakes. Alignment is about coherence. It is about refusing to live double-minded, refusing to release one message with your lips while living another with your actions. The strength of your voice depends on the authenticity of your walk. This is why spiritual discipline is not a burden. It is your shield. Prayer sharpens your frequency. Fasting cleanses the static. Integrity seals your codes so the enemy cannot twist them. Every act of obedience is like oil poured over your voice, making it resonate louder in the unseen realm. And here is something many overlook. Angels are watchers of consistency. They are not moved by tears alone, nor by emotional cries without substance. They respond to faith lived out. They respond to voices that align with heaven's rhythm. When your daily life flows with the current of the divine will, every time you speak, heaven confirms. This one carries authority. That is when your words slice through resistance like lightning. That is when doors swing open before you. That is when the enemy cannot argue against your decrees, because your life itself testifies of the truth you release. Now consider the danger. When your codes are contaminated, if doubt fills your heart, if resentment leaks into your speech, if compromise clouds your vision, the power of your codes diminishes. The enemy cannot decode your language, but he can try to corrupt it. He plants fear, self-pity, or bitterness, hoping your words will carry a divided frequency. And divided frequency weakens the signal. But when you choose faith over fear, worship over complaint, obedience over compromise, your codes strike with unstoppable clarity. Every word becomes a weapon that the enemy cannot resist. Do you see it now? Living in alignment is not about rules. It is about power. The more you align with the divine, the clearer your voice becomes in the realm of the spirit. The more you align, the more unshakable your decrees are. This is why some prayers echo without impact, while others split the heavens open. The difference is alignment. A single whisper from a heart fully aligned carries more weight than 1,000 speeches filled with empty noise. Chosen one, this is your challenge and your invitation. Protect your alignment at all costs. Guard your purity, guard your integrity, guard your connection. Do not allow distractions, temptations, or the applause of men to shift your frequency, because the strength of your words depends on the clarity of your walk. Every time you live in alignment, you add weight to your codes. You engrave your voice deeper into the corridors of heaven, and you strike fear deeper into the camp of darkness. And here is the question I leave burning in your spirit. If your words already carry such power now, imagine how much greater their impact will be when your life is fully aligned. When every step, every breath, every choice echoes the truth you speak. What would happen in the unseen world if your entire existence became one seamless code? The answer, chosen one, is more explosive than you dare to imagine. And that is why alignment is not optional. It is the key that makes your voice unstoppable. Chosen one, let this truth settle deeply into your spirit. Your words are not for everyone. They were never meant to be. Some will hear you and walk away, shaking their heads, convinced that you are confused or delusional. Others will mock you openly, making jokes about the weight you carry because it intimidates what they cannot control. And some will fear you without even knowing why, because your presence stirs something in their spirit that they are not prepared to face. This is not failure. It is confirmation. A chosen one was never designed to be universally accepted. If everyone embraced your words, it would be proof that your message was diluted, stripped of its divine weight, made palatable for the comfort of the masses. But the language of heaven was never crafted for popularity. It was crafted for power. Do not make the mistake of believing rejection means irrelevance. In the unseen realm, rejection is often the loudest evidence of authenticity. The prophets were rejected. The apostles were rejected. Even Christ himself, the living word, was misunderstood, mocked, and despised by many. If they called him insane, how much more will they misunderstand you? Yet their misunderstanding does not erase the truth. It amplifies it. Because while human ears dismiss you, heaven listens intently. While earthly hearts resist, angelic armies respond. Every syllable you release is recorded, stamped, and stored in the eternal archives of God's kingdom. Not one phrase is wasted, not one whisper ignored. And here is something you must remember. Recognition only comes from those tuned to your frequency. Just as a radio cannot pick up a station unless it is calibrated to the right channel, the human heart cannot receive your words unless it has been tuned by the Spirit. This is why some individuals will hear you once and feel as though you have spoken directly to their soul. They recognize the frequency because they carry it too. It resonates like an echo inside of them. These are your people. These are the ones who will not only listen but will rise alongside you, empowered by the same codes that heaven placed in your mouth. But what about the others? The ones who misunderstand, criticize, or avoid you? Chosen one, that is not your burden to carry. Their rejection is not a reflection of your failure, but a revelation of their unreadiness. Some seeds cannot sprout in dry soil. Some words cannot bloom until the appointed time. Do not waste your energy trying to explain yourself to those who were never meant to understand. Your mission is not to convince, it is to release. Speak when heaven tells you to speak, and trust that the message will reach those it was designed for. Even your silence carries weight, for silence guided by God is louder than noise guided by fear. There is also a mystery in this. Sometimes the very ones who mock you today will return tomorrow, humbled by the evidence of what you declared. They may laugh now, but when your nonsense unfolds into reality, they will realize they had been deaf to a frequency above their comprehension. Do not despise the mockery, it is temporary. Do not fear the rejection, it is necessary. Every no you receive from man positions you closer to the eternal yes from God. And think of this. Your words carry so much power that they demand timing. Not everything is meant to be revealed in the moment you speak it. Sometimes you are instructed to remain silent, and in that silence, the codes continue to circulate in heaven, waiting for the right instant to manifest. That is why even your silence is strategic. When you refrain from speaking, it is not weakness, it is obedience. The angels know when your mouth will open again, and when it does, they are already positioned to execute what you release. So take this as your encouragement. Not being understood is not a curse, it is a mark. It is the signature of those who carry secrets too holy for common minds. If you were universally understood, you would be ordinary. If everyone embraced your voice, you would be speaking on the level of men instead of the level of angels. But your calling is higher. Your words are designed to shake eternity, not to please temporary crowds. And now I ask you, what if the very rejection you are feeling right now is the proof that you are exactly where you are meant to be? What if the mockery, the silence, and the distance are heaven's way of showing you that your voice belongs to a frequency too rare for the majority? That thought alone should ignite something fierce inside of you. Because chosen one, the misunderstanding of man is the very stage on which the understanding of heaven shines brightest. And the moment you accept that truth, you will stop craving applause and start hungering only for alignment. And that is when your voice will become unstoppable. Chosen one, hear me now. Never again doubt the force that lives in your voice. Though men may whisper that you are crazy, though they may roll their eyes and dismiss your fire, in the unseen realm, you are not weak. You are a commander. You carry the sound that hell cannot decode, the vibration that darkness cannot resist, the frequency that angels are waiting for. Every time you release a word, you are not speaking casually. You are detonating spiritual explosives, releasing decrees that heaven itself honors. Your voice shakes the invisible foundations of evil. Your voice awakens divine armies. Your voice shifts the very atmosphere around you. This is not opinion. This is prophecy unfolding through you. And here is the revelation. You were chosen not to be silent, not to conform, not to bow under the pressure of misunderstanding. You were chosen to declare. You were chosen to speak mysteries that will later manifest as miracles. You were chosen to carry a sound that unlocks what no man can open and closes what no man can shut. You are not here to blend in. You are here to alter reality with every code that escapes your lips. So rise with courage. Keep speaking even when mocked. Keep declaring even when doubted. Keep trusting even when the weight feels unbearable. Because with every word, you are fulfilling prophecy. With every phrase, you are shaking dimensions. With every decree, you are proving that your voice is the key that turns locks in heaven, the key that breaks chains in the unseen, the key that sets destinies in motion. This is your moment to embrace it fully. Stand tall in who you are. Let your voice ring out like thunder. Let your words be arrows of light. Let your decree echo until eternity itself responds. The world may never understand you, but heaven already crowned you. The angels already recognize you, and the darkness already fears you. Now I want you to do something prophetic. Comment 40 below. Not as a number, but as a declaration. 40 represents testing completed, transition into promise, the closing of an old season and the opening of a new. When you write it, you are saying, I know who I am. I know my voice is the key. Do it boldly, and let the angels mark your words in the eternal books. Chosen one, never forget this truth. You are not ordinary. You are not misunderstood by mistake. You are heaven's code-bearer, earth's disruptor, hell's nightmare. Keep speaking, keep believing, keep igniting the fire within you, because your voice is the key, unbreakable, undeniable, unstoppable. And the moment you release it without fear, everything changes. Forever.